Today I'm going to show you how I staked up my tree collard in a flower pot. It's the easiest thing to do, and it's going to keep that nice and secure. And you can do any type of plant. It doesn't have to be a tree collard, but a flower pot. And the best things, it's the cheapest thing you can buy, and it's stable. It won't rock. So this is the flower pot. I get these at the florist, but you can use any type of pot that you get from a nursery because you can grow a lot of things in this. It works really good. This is the irrigation tubing I'm using. It comes in multiple sizes. You don't have to get a 500-foot roll, but sometimes I've seen them for as low as 35 on up to 50. Think of how much use you're going to get out of it, and it's probably going to last you for years. You'll be sharing it with family and friends. Now, to use the irrigation tubing, the 1/2 inch, all you need is a scissors, and you cut the length you need. It's easier to cut on a warm day, but either way, you can just cut it. It'll also straighten good on a warm day. You can lay it out. I needed 2 pieces for the flower pot, so I just cut 2 about the same. Don't worry if you're off 1/2 inch or something. It isn't going to make a difference. So here's the flower pot. It already was set up with soil, so all I had to do is take a shovel and move the soil over and slip the irrigation tubing to the bottom. Don't worry if a little bit gets in there, it's not going to hurt. And now it's just a matter of making 2 holes. You can strap a zip tie around it. Now I use a soldering iron to make holes, and that's my little power unit I bought. Oh, that's so handy. I can carry it anywhere in the yard. Just keep in mind when you're using a soldering iron, have a plate or something metal to sit your hot soldering on. You don't want to sit that out in the grass. Now I make these stands for my flower pots, so I cannot make the holes with the soldering iron while it's in the stand because I don't want to go through the stand. So I took it out here. Now I'm just sitting it on another pot just so I can make my holes. So here I'm going to make a hole on one side, you'll see, and then I'm going to make a hole on the other side. This way I can put the zip tie through and just tie it. Now the other side I noticed right now wasn't quite straight, it was a little off, and I want it straight so it goes across because I'm only putting in 2 irrigation tubings in this pot. I could have put 3, I could have done 4, but I only need 2 for what I'm going to use it for. So I just readjusted it. It's that easy. And now it's a matter of making holes to put that side in with a zip tie. Now, just a note, if you don't want to use a zip tie, you can use wire. And rebar wire Gary buys at Home Depot, or you can buy it anywhere. It's really cheap. You get a big roll and it's like $10. So keep that in mind because that will work just as well as a zip tie. So here I'm going to put in a green zip tie. Now you could put in black so it disappears, but I'm doing green because you can see it and I can see it, and we'll see how we're doing it. Now again, you can put multiple zip ties in if you want, but I find that one's enough. And I use the longer, thicker ones. They don't cost that much more, literally less than a penny. The small ones, it's too hard to zip on. They're so tiny and you're trying to fiddle with them to pull them through. So I figured I'm going to start using longer ones. Much easier. Now you just do both sides, just slip it through the hole, and that is going to hold the tubing in so secure that you'll be able to put in there tomato stakes. You can use branches from trees, you could use bamboo sticks, anything you've got, and then you can trellis up or tie up any plant you've got, whether it's a tomato, a cucumber, eggplant. But for this one, I'm doing a tree collard, and I know it's going to outgrow the pot, but for now on my deck it's going to work perfect. There it is. Look at that. Now all I have to do is get my plants planted, and I just cut off the zip tie. You don't have to. You could leave the end of the zip tie if you want, but I do it on the inside so it won't snag on anything. I find it's just easier and better. Now I'm just going to put it back where it is. Look at that. Remember, you can use wire too. That easy to do, literally will take you seconds. And pennies to do. You can't find anything easier for the garden to work with or cheaper. And it works fantastic. Now, all I had to do was plant my little tree collard that I rooted in the pot. And look what I did. I put in 2 tomato stakes I had. Actually had a broken tomato stake. So I put it in the tubing there, and I put a little bit of the hose I use on the top so it won't be sharp. But look at that. Look at that. It is now stable, and it will guide that thing up. Of course, I don't want to let it get too big, but let's see the hose on the top that I've done other projects with, just because it was sharp. That was a broken tomato stake. And yes, my little helper was there making sure that I was doing it right. But look at this. I can put these irrigation tubings in any type of container. Here you can see those upside down planters I bought years ago when they were blowing them out in the store. I put it in the corners of this container too. You can do it in a dishpan, a bucket, whatever you're growing in, a tote, of course. Anything that's plastic. And if it's wood, drill some holes and use some wire and do the same thing. You'll have stakes in there that are nice and stable to hold your plants, because when they're just in the soil, they wiggle around, they come loose, your plants are loose. Look how nice this is right now on this container with my tree colored. Isn't that cool? This is doing a wonderful job for us. I am just putting it everywhere. I'm going to have them in different ways set up. Now this will be just a tomato stake to hold a flag to shade my lettuce because it's in direct sunlight all day. And when it's hot, I can pull the flag down. Here, I'm doing the same thing with just a piece of fabric. But it is just so stable, and you can use it for covering your plants with tulle if you wanted to keep insects and birds off from eating your new plants that you put out there. But look, when you take a stake and you put it in a tote or the ground, look how it wiggles. There's nothing to hold it. You have to secure it. No matter how you put it in, soil is loose. It's supposed to be. You don't want your soil as hard as a rock, but it's going to rock. It's not going to do what you want it to do, like in a pot. Here's another tree collard. Yes, I could stick a couple stakes in there, but see this? The soil is so good that it doesn't hold it, and it's going to rock and it will not support my plant. So why not use the tubing where look how solid it is? It works perfect. You can't ask for anything else better than that for pennies. I even set up a hummingbird stand. Look at this, in a dishpan. I've got the irrigation tubing in each corner. I'm growing plants in there, and I've got tomato stakes. And yes, I crossed irrigation tubing across it, each tomato stake, to make it more stable. And then I covered it with a tablecloth. The birds love it. And then I'm just setting up my totes now this year. Last year when I was setting up my totes, a lot of you came in and said, garden season's over for you and you'll come back next year to see it. So I thought I would just wait now and show you exactly what's going on because it works fabulous. And like I said, it costs pennies. Yes, she's done her job. She says, I've been out here. You did a video, give me my broccoli. I don't know where she came up with this. So I'm giving her her broccoli and now she's happy. She got something on her ear. What is that? Oh, it's a leaf. Okay, it's just a little leaf. She's such a cutie. Oh, now she thinks it was broccoli. She wants more. I got to give her another piece. So I hope I'm giving you ideas to set up a garden this year on the cheap, and not just cheap, but better than what you could possibly buy. Think of it, a tomato stake that you go buy, those cages, they can cost you anywhere from $10 on up, and you can make it for under $1. You can't get cheaper than that. Isn't that cool? Have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye.